Hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of God Concept Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Pagan. How you guys doing this afternoon, this evening? I hope you're doing well. Right now, I want to have a discussion about addictive behaviors, addictive personalities. The habits that we form. You know, as we grow, as we develop as people. You know, we all got things that we get accustomed to, and those things that we become accustomed to, they become habits or habit forming in a way. All type of addictions that we have, our habits are addictions. Some are good. Some people get addicted to working out. Some get addicted to laughing. Some people get addicted to movies. Some people get addicted to bad things like sugar, cigarettes, drugs, sex. Sex is a good addiction. If you're addicted and you don't have nobody to share that with, then it's a bad thing because, for women, sometimes that turns to prostitution. The love of money is an addiction. All of these things are addictions, food addictions, game addictions, and really it starts off innocent. It starts off as just merely a pastime. But after a while, if you don't do nothing with that habit or that addiction, it becomes stifling. It becomes something that could be bad for your health, especially when it's you consuming something. When it's you consuming something, it definitely becomes a bad addiction, like sugar. Too much food, smoking cigarettes, doing drugs. Some drugs are cool. Like I agree with the marijuana thing. You know what I mean? Because that's good for your health. It's medicinal. But even that, too much of that at times could be too much. You know what I mean? I remember in my life there was times where I shouldn't have been, indulging in weed or whatever. I remember one time, I digress, I'm gonna keep that to myself. But I was smoking when I shouldn't have been smoking weed. And I went somewhere to handle some business and I smelled like marijuana. And because I smelled like marijuana, when I went there and where I went to do business, it didn't come to fruition because I smelled like marijuana, and it was not a weed friendly place. You know what I mean? You can't go there smelling like you just smoked a pack of loud, and you trying to conduct business in a certain type of way. You know what I mean? But yeah, these habits and these addictions are things that's placed upon us, and really, it's mind over matter. If you could curve your addiction, if you could learn how to master your your thought or your cravings for whatever it is that you're addicted to, you know, they say that too much of anything ain't good for you. You know what I mean? Too much power, too much power corrupts. Uh, Too much drugs, you can become an addict, wind up at an AA meeting somewhere. Too much sugary substance, you can wind up with heart failure, kidney problems, just eating sugar, diabetes, and things like that, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and all this stuff. And it's those cravings that we have. And once you become accustomed to something, it's hard to shake. But you have to really wean yourself off of these things. Like, I smoke cigarettes every now and then. You know what I mean? Not every now and then. I smoke cigarettes. You know what I mean? But I wasn't smoking cigarettes. It was once I picked them back up that they became a habit again. You know, and that's something that I got to deal with myself. Cigarette smoking and things of that nature. Is not a habit. It's not an addiction that I want to persist. It's not something that I want to continue to do. So I have to exercise my mind over matter. You know what I mean? I have to exercise staying away from doing these things so that way I can get over these things and not develop cancer or something like that, not develop a illness because of a habit, i.e. addiction that I have, that I've grown. You know what I mean? It's really something is mental. It's like once you start smoking a cigarette, you might smoke a cigarette with your coffee, with your tea. You know what I mean? You might want something sweet with it. You might, want to take a shit and have a cigarette, or you know what I mean, something like that. After you eat, you want to smoke. You know what I mean? Things like that. It's just It's really mind over matter. With any addiction that you have, it's mind over matter. You can really weed your way and make your way out of any habit that you picked up over your lifetime. And sometimes these habits come from our parents. Sometimes we see our parents do something so many times now it's a habit of ours. You know what I mean? It was a habit of theirs, and now we turn around and it's a habit of ours now. And it's because, we see it, we grow accustomed to it. That's why you try to make sure your kids stay away from the bad things that you do, or bad stuff that you put in your body. You try to make sure that they don't fall into the same habits or get the same addictive tendencies that you have. You know what I mean? It's like that with everything, man. You gotta curve that. You gotta always exercise. To me, you always have to exercise your mind over matter. You always gotta have a period where you stop doing something that's addictive, because it builds character. It builds personality. It builds perseverance. It builds that part in you that can get over pretty much anything. You know what I mean? Too much food consumption, too much sugar consumption, too much smoking, doing drugs, partying can be an addiction. All of these things that we just do on a normal basis. You know what I mean? On a daily basis, it really is not too good for us. It's not something that you want to continue to do all the time for the rest of your life. Yeah, once in a while you can give into your habit or your addiction, but not give into it. Give yourself a taste of whatever your poison is. You know what I mean? You pick your poison. We all pick our poison in this life. And it's like whatever your poison might be women. Sometimes men get addicted to women, just like women get addicted to men at times. And then vice versa. And it's a thing where, you know, really you have to grow. You have to grow out of whatever habit that you have, whatever addiction you have. You know what I mean? If you become accustomed to, loving a certain person, love can be an addiction as well. You know what I mean? Love can be one of the ultimate addictions, because love is what drives you back to doing the things that you were addicted to. Sometimes you got to wean yourself off love too. You know what I mean? Love is, me personally, I believe that love is the greatest energy on earth. That's the most powerful, the most strongest thing on earth. Love drives you back to things that's not good for you. People, places, things, you know what I mean? Those habits, those addictions that you have, that you build up over time, that you feel like you can't go without, that you just need in your life. A lot of times you don't. A lot of times you just really gotta just, go cold turkey. You know what I mean? You gotta wean yourself off of something and go cold turkey, and realize that the things that you thought you needed, you really don't. The things that you grown accustomed to doing in your lifetime, in your life, you really don't. A lot of times these habits come about because we're not doing the things that we really want to do with our life. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just the fact that you're not placing your energy in the right place. You know what I mean? You're not putting your energy to good use. You know what I mean? If you have time, if you have time on your hands, you should be doing something with that time. You should be creating something with that time. And if you're not creating something with that time, you should at least go out and help somebody else create something. Get a job, work doing this, pass time, doing that. You know what I mean? But it's just one of those things that everyone deals with. You know what I mean? Money is another powerful addiction. You know what I mean? I'm getting tongue twisted. To be honest with you, I started getting addicted to doing these podcasts and things like that, to getting my truth out there, forgetting, you know, in the pursuit of justice and, happiness, in the pursuit of a better life for me and my children, in pursuit of stability. You know what I mean? All of these things, those are things that you need. Those are things that you grow accustomed to having, especially when you a young child, you with your parents. They're going to make sure you're safe. They're going to make sure you're protected. They're going to make sure that you're well taken care of. And they also going to provide you with the things that you become addicted to. That shelter, that homeliness, that love, that caring, whatever it is that you become addicted to, you ask your parents for and they go out and get it for you and now you have it. And when they can't get it for you anymore, you become angry at the person who can't get you the thing that you're addicted for, like the Roblox thing. You know what I mean? I'm so glad my kids is out of that phase. My children are out of that phase. They still like they video games and things like that, but they understand that. Well, no, they don't understand that. It's my son. He loves playing that fucking PlayStation. He plays that thing religiously, right? But I'm trying to teach him that the games aren't always gonna do it. You know what I mean? Because even this technology stuff, the phone, you know what I mean? The phone, the TV, the game system. It's like we get addicted to that as well. You know what I mean? You get addicted to all these things, and it's like you have to take time out to really appreciate yourself. You have to take that time out to appreciate life in its entirety. You know what I mean? You got to take time out to put the phone down, to go outside, to run around, to enjoy life. You know what I mean? If you're a person that loves to eat, you know what I mean? You want to take time out your day to really balance. Just like they say, you have to have a balanced diet. You should have a balanced lifestyle. You should have put yourself on. I don't want to say a routine, but you should try putting yourself on. I don't want to say a schedule, but you should take time out. Like you should an hour out of your day to working out. You should delegate a couple hours out of your day to being detached from whatever electronic device that you have. Unless you're using it for business. If you're building something, you know what I mean? Whatever. If you're not building something, you don't have to do what I say. Who the fuck am I, right? But, you know, you have to realize that none of this stuff is natural. You didn't come born into this world with a cell phone strapped to your hip or in your hands. You know what I mean? We didn't come into this world with with TV shows on our mind or movies or cigarettes or candy and all that type of stuff. We don't come into that world with that. That's something that you get once you get here. Once you get here, then it's like, ooh, this is good. I like this. Now I'm gonna keep doing this. But too much of anything is not good for you. It's an old saying, and it's an old saying for a reason because it's true. Too much of anything ain't good for you. You know what I mean? Me personally, I'm trying to get addicted to doing work, doing my own work, pursuing my own independent dreams and goals and, achievements. I like getting addicted to achievements and things like that, man. When I write my books, when I'm writing, I feel a sense of success. I feel a sense of achievement that I'm accomplishing a goal, that I'm furthering, my entrepreneurship, my businessship. When I do this podcast, I'm furthering, my message and getting my point across and my views across and things like that. When I do my music, I'm trying to gain more proficiency with the music, just like I'm trying to gain more proficiency with doing this podcast on video. I'm trying to gain more proficiency with writing books and things of this nature. Whenever you start out anything, it's not going to be all that good, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. You know what I mean? And I'm going to keep doing it until I get very, very good at it, very, very proficient at it, to the point where it's something that I could do to sustain my life or sustain a certain lifestyle in a way. You know what I mean? That's what it's about for me. It's about building a lifestyle that's not hard to manage at all. Staying away from addictive tendencies. Stay away from habit forming behavior. You know what I mean? I don't mind getting addicted or having a habit when it's something that's natural. Like, I like tea. I love tea. Tea is one of my things. Like, I drink tea religiously. Me personally, I like seeking out different types of tea to drink, because a lot of herbs and stuff, a lot of herbs that you can't get at the store, you won't naturally go to the store and get. You don't got the inclination to search for dandelion to put in your food and stuff like that. But they got it in tea bags, and all of those things that they put in tea bags are natural. And those are herbs. That's why they call them herbal teas, because they're herbs. They help heal you. So it's like, even when I'm drinking my tea, I know I have a thing about sugar, right? I used to have pre-diabetes. Well, I had it, or I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't go to the doctors like that. I just try to stay healthy on my own. But I dealt with that before in my life. And from me dealing with that, I try not to put too much sugar in my things. But yeah, I still do have chocolate cravings at times. I still do have sugar cravings at times. I'm human. I'm imperfect. I'm not perfect in any way, shape, or form. Hey, y'all don't know it, but I'm sitting on the toilet. But anyway, yeah, I'm imperfect. I'm not a perfect person at all. You know what I mean? I'm still working this thing out, still figuring it out. You know what I mean? I'm trying to curve my cravings, curve my addictions, and curve my habits that aren't good. Tea is one of the ones that I'm not trying to curve, because tea is not bad for you. Tea is more natural. You know what I mean? Than anything. I like steeping my tea. Little metal steepers like they do over in England. Like steeping my tea and having tea times. Sometimes having a little biscuit and some graham crackers with it. Sounds good as hell. Make me want some right now, actually. But I just had a cup of tea. Go figure. But yeah, man, it's like, some people get addicted to driving cars. That was one of my addictions at a point. Because I used to be a driver and things like that. It's just it's a good thing to say no to something that you normally don't say no to. You know what I mean? If you're saying yes to something that's bad for you every time, it's not good. If you're saying yes to drugs, you got to learn to say no. If you're saying yes to certain foods that you know aren't healthy to you, you got to learn to say no. If you're saying yes to cigarettes every time, you got to learn how to say no. Even though right now I'm going through a lot of hardships in my life, so it's hard for me to say no to pretty much anything right now, because I'm not where I want to be in life. I'm not in a place of peacefulness and tranquility in my life. Even though I might have peacefulness and tranquility in my heart and in my mind and in my soul, physically, am I in a place of peace and tranquility? No. I'm still searching for that peace and tranquility. That's what I want. That's what I'm addicted to right now. That's the habit that I'm chasing, peace and tranquility, because I haven't had much of it in my life. You know what I mean? And that's where those addictive tendencies take you a lot of times. The things that we addicted to take us to that place of peace and tranquility, and everything's so beautiful and wonderful, even though it's not. You know what I mean? A lot of us, we dealing with emotional problems. So to deal with those emotional problems and combat that, we choose to turn to, food or drugs or alcoholism. Alcoholism is a great big addiction. You know what I mean? A great big addiction here in America, here in today's society, all over the world. You know what I mean? Alcoholism. You know what I mean? And, you know, you're not going to find that happiness, that love, that peace, that sense of, purpose or achievement in a bottle. You're not going to find that in a cigarette. You're not going to find that in any type of drug that you take. You're only going to find that within you when you start doing the things to achieve those goals that you have. You know what I mean? Depression and things like that, that comes about because you're not happy with what you're doing. Sometimes you have jobs out there. Sometimes you work for somebody else and you're not really happy with your job. And that's because that's not really the job that you're supposed to be doing. That's not the job that's meant for you. The job that's meant for you is the things that you love to do. Right now, in this day and age, we can really do any fucking thing we want to do. Like, you could do anything and make it make money for you. You could literally do anything and make it make money for you. You just got to keep working at it. You got to find your niche and you got to find your right audience. And you got to place your content out there, whether that be a podcast, whether that be books, whether that be music, whatever it is. You just have to find your niche, Do that thing that you love doing and make them watch you do it. You know what I mean? Become proficient at it. But I don't want to say professional because I don't look at nobody as professional because we all have moments of improfessionalism where you're doing things that goes against your profession. And at that time, or when you get arrogant with your perfection, with your profession, you know what I mean? You got people that'll do something so well that they become ignorant to other people who don't know how to do it as well. Or they become ignorant and start to be like snobbish to people that they got to do whatever they're professional at for. You know what I mean? Plumbers will come in your house, big fat bastard with the fucking ass crack hanging out. And this motherfucker gonna treat you like shit and give you a crazy ass bill because you don't know how to fix the plumbing in your house. You know what I mean? Even I don't know if y'all ever had to deal with somebody selling drugs or whatever. Some of these motherfuckers, they'll sit up there and because they got all the drugs in the world and they know that you're addicted to it, they'll start to treat you like crap. A lot of women get it the worst. Especially if you go into a drug dealer and you don't got no money, oh, they gonna make you do whatever the fuck they want you to do. Whatever your addiction is, you gonna do it because you addicted. You got that habit, and now you need what they have. And that's not even a profession that you could be proud of. All you're doing is selling a substance. You probably became good at selling the substance. You probably can make sure that you always have this substance. That way you're always the first one somebody's calling. But at the same time, that's not even a profession for you to get big headed about. You know what I mean? You're just, you know, I digress. Cause I never been like a big drug dealer. Yeah, sure. I sold weed in my past when I was in my teen days. I never got good at that. You know what I was good at selling? Cell phones. I was real good at selling cell phones. I was good at building them, fixing them, programming them, putting them on computers, cloning them. I used to clone the cell phones back in the day. I used to clone the big Motorola cell phones and sell them to all the drug boys out in West Philly. And you sell them for $100 a pop. I used to sit right on my step and sell the Motorola flip cell phones for $100 a pop. You know what I mean? It was a guy over there. He didn't have the money to pay for the cell phone at one time. So I gave him the phone on consignment. He didn't. He never came up with the money. I'm like, yo, what's up? Why haven't you got the money for the phone yet? Well, look, all I got is this. He had what he was selling, what he would sell, and he was like, look, just stand out here with me and help me get it off, and then you take the money that we make out here, and that's you. So I'm like, all right, no problem. You know, I'm such a good kid at the time. I asked permission if I could do that. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, look, this is what's going down. I'm gonna be right here doing this. I got the okay. So I stood out there, bust a couple traps, got my money. I actually got more than what I was supposed to get, to be honest with you. And then I was done with it after that. After that, it was like I knew that it wasn't for me. I knew that I wasn't a good drug dealer because, it's just something I don't like doing. Standing out there doing that all types of night, it's not for me. I don't think it's for anybody for real. I mean, if you choose to do that, if you have to do that, a lot of people don't choose to do their profession. They just have to do something to get by, to make themselves money. Then yeah, you know what I mean? But at least when you're doing it, don't become a professional at it. Don't try to become a professional at being a corner boy or a drug dealer or something like that. Don't become a professional at, doing something that's not, that you wouldn't want your kids to do. Doing something that know society frowns upon. I mean, nowadays, you go to the store or find a pharmacist or anything to sell you these things on the street. But I digress. This is about the habits that we have. And sometimes it's a habit selling that stuff, making that money. You get addicted to that lifestyle. That's what a lot of the musicians thrive on. You know what I mean? The drug industry, because they become addicted to that lifestyle, and then they talk about it in the songs and stuff like that. And you got a lot of artists who never even lived that type of lifestyle or just lived it vicariously through somebody else, and they talk about it in these songs. And now they live like a drug dealer in their real life, even though they're not selling drugs. They just pushing music to people who sell drugs or who do drugs or like that type of lifestyle. So they promote it to them. Just like The guys who talk about a lot of killing and things in their songs like that. It's like, okay, that energy that you're putting out there is gonna make somebody want to pick up a gun and kill somebody, or put the idea in somebody's thought of doing these type of things. So you really got to be mindful of whatever you're doing, even if you're a musician, even if you're, whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're selling, you got to be mindful about your impact on yourself and the world around you. You know what I mean? At all times. Yeah. The main goal to beating that addiction is just the main ingredient is you. To beating any habit, any addiction, anything that you feel like you can't go without is all mind over matter. You got to remember that you are the shaper of your destiny. You are the captain of your ship. Anything that you have to get out of your mind, out of your body, out of your heart, out of your, you know what I mean, out of your environment, it starts with you. If it don't start with you, it's not going to start with anybody else. You know what I mean? It takes you to do that, and sometimes it takes you, sliding down that sliding board with razor blades on it. You know what I mean? Hurting yourself real bad on whatever it is that you're addicted to doing or addicted to having, for you to finally realize, like, oh, this isn't good for me. I can't do this for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Because it's bringing about problems or illness or ailments, or, you know what I mean? It landed me in a hospital, it landed me hurt, or it landed me in jail, or it landed me, you know what I mean? You have to get yourself and think yourself out of those positions. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not that bad. It's just to the point where, you know what I mean, you just hurting yourself. You know what I mean? Some people could be addicted and have a habit that nobody know about. You know what I mean? Them in the closet addiction type people. You know what I mean? It's like, even them, when nobody else knows about it, it's like it's hard to really try to have an intervention or tell somebody something that's not good for them. But even them, they come to a point where they got to get over whatever whatever they're addicted to or they're doing themselves. I've been sitting on this toilet for a while. My legs starting to go numb. It's not good. Yeah, man. And that's about that, man. It's like, it's just mind over matter. You know what I mean? You just got to rewire and reprogram yourself to do things that's more conducive. Build good habits. You know what I mean? Form a good relationship, a good bond with yourself. Care about yourself. You know what I mean? Because ain't nobody gonna care about you better than you at the end of the day. Yeah. All right. Well, that's been another episode of God Concept. Please like, share, subscribe. You don't even gotta worry about the sharing part. I'm gonna do that part, right? Just like and subscribe. Like and follow the page for more content. Check out the new songs that's coming out. Check out the books on Amazon. Is they still on sale? Shit, what's this? Hold on. It's the 6th. 2 more days. 2 more days, my books are still on sale. Morals and Values and Nature's Features are still on sale. 41% off and 50% off on Amazon and Kindle. So yeah, go out, check them out. It's a couple dollars. $5 for Morals and Values. $3 for no, $5 for Nature's Features. $3 for Morals and Values. And that way you get a little bit more insight on who I am and how I think and my mentality and things like that. Plus you get a good read. You get some insightful thoughts that you might not, a different way of thinking. Because we all got our own way of thinking. And I might not think like you. I might think differently and outside the box a little bit. Outside your box anyway. I might think outside your box a little bit, where you could pick up something and, incorporate that into the way you think and grow and, learn a little bit more. That's all. Yeah. Music on the way. I'm going to keep these podcasts rolling. My name's Mr. Pagan, and I'm out. Peace.